What is proper encapsulation? So yesterday we have already discussed that what is proper encapsulation and how to make a class that perform or that fulfill the encapsulation feature. And after that, we were learning the concept of a string. And before binding the session yesterday, I have already discussed that a string is immutable type of the object, and we have seen already with the example. Okay, so let me open that example first. Notepad. So a string type of java.lang.string is immutable, and with the example we have already seen this. If you make or if you apply any any operation, any function on the existing string object, then it will create a new object. um, we we are not able to make a change into the existing object. Every operation will create a new object, and the way of creation we have already seen that how many ways to create a string object. By using a new keyword we can create the object, or by using any string literal. And if we create any string object with the help of a string literal, then it will go into a string constant pool. And if we create any string object with the help of new, then that goes to heap memory area. And in heap memory area, duplicate objects are allowed, but in string constant pool, duplicate objects are not allowed. So these things we have already discussed yesterday. So any query related to those points that we have already covered, um, related to any topic that we have already covered, yes, tell me, and then we'll start a fresh session today. Just tell me. No, okay, fine, Justin. Okay, good. So we'll see string in detail. Some more concepts are here related to the string. Uh, and what are those concepts? The basic of the creation and string constant pool and other things we have already discussed. So a few examples I'll show you, and after that we'll move to some important method that we use to manipulate the string. And in general term, we say that string handling. String handling means string manipulation, that we can perform the string, we can perform the operations on the string by using string methods that is provided by the Java. So wait, yes, still not coming. Okay, fine. So let's see. Uh, String. We were discussing string. Okay. So now come to this slide, there are five references that we have created. Uh, let's see which object will create in which memory area. We have already seen this yesterday with the some different with a different example, but here I'm going to create another example. For example, you want to create an object of Microsoft string type, and you want to point with the S1, so definitely it will go to the string constant pool. I hope it is clear that S1, this Microsoft, will go into string constant pool, and S2 definitely it will go into the string constant pool, because it is now creating with the help of string literal. Again, we want to create Microsoft, and it will be uh, get placed into a string constant pool, because um, it is creating with the help of a string literal. So again, since in a string constant pool duplicate objects are not allowed, so Microsoft will not create one more time another reference, that is S3, will point to this object. Next time, S4 is creating a new string object with the help of the new, and since this string is creating with the help of new, so it will go into the heap memory area. And again, S5 is equal S4, it means uh, the object that is pointed by your S4 will pointed by S5. Simple. So it is another example. I hope this example is also clear to all of you. Now, these points we have already seen yesterday. Now, tell me which one will go into which area? Noida, definitely. If we'll create a Noida, okay, so it will go into a string constant pool. Here, just when I'm creating this, just see this example very carefully. Then here you will find one more thing. Okay, so S1 Noida, definitely it will go into the Noida. That is a string constant pool, and S1 will point to this object. S2 will create into is a heap memory area, because it is creating with the help of the new. So one more thing you will see here, and don't be confused. I'll clear that point. Okay, so here you will find that a new is creating that object into the heap memory area, and S2 is pointing to this object. Okay, so why daily is creating into the string constant pool? So the rule says whenever any string literal is occurred in the program, string literal, and string literal means the string that is written into double inverted comma, that is written into double inverted comma. Okay, so this will go into the heap memory area, as well as it will be placed into string constant pool, because you are writing something into double inverted comma, so this will be called as string literal. Okay, so this will be also placed into the string constant pool. And as we have already know that if any object is unreferenced, then that object will be destroyed automatically. So this daily will be destroyed. This daily will be destroyed. Fine. So S2 will point to the object that is placed in heap memory area, not in the string constant pool. Why this slide is here? Okay. Now, Okay. Okay. Yes. I can explain one more time. Now, just tell me that voice is clear right now. Okay. What I was saying that as we know, the string object that is creating with the help of a string constant pool, string literal will be placed into a string pool, right? What is a string literal actually? As a string literal is a string that is written inside double inverted comma, isn't it? Whatever we write into double inverted comma, that is called a string literal. And we have already seen that what is a string literal when we were discussing uh, literals. So if we come to this line, that is string s2 is equal new string Delhi, then you will find something written in uh, double inverted comma. So definitely we can say that Delhi is a literal, a string literal. So when you execute this line of the code, this will create object into heap memory area as well as into the string constant pool. Now the question is, which object will get the reference of S2? So this object that is inside the heap memory area will get the reference S2. And we know that if any object is unreferenced, then that object will be destroyed automatically by the garbage collector and this will be destroyed. Now tell me, till now, is it clear? Okay. Now, one question can be in your mind that can come to your mind, that is why okay, I'll tell you that S3 also, but just look at here. Why this slide is here? If Delhi is get destroyed, then what is mean by this? When you will go into some online exam, some certification exam, and if you go into any interview, then after writing these statements, they may ask that how many object will create. Are you getting my question? How many object will create? They are not asking that how many object will be retained. So if they are writing only two statements, that is S1 and S2, so you will find that there are three objects getting created. But how many objects will be remain into the memory? So the answer is 2. Those have the references. Fine. Now, when this line will execute, that is S3, then it will create a new object into the heap memory area as well as into the string constant pool. But since in string constant pool Noida is already available, so it will not create one more time because the duplicate objects are not allowed into the string constant pool. Look at this whole scenario, the whole diagram. So I hope this graphical representation of creation of the objects is clear to all of you. Got it? Fine. Now, come to this. Overload plus and plus is equal operator. And let's see with the example. Int a is equal 6 if we write in our program. Character c is equal a if we write in our program. Then string s1 is equal is what is string object is created. And string s2 is equal new string the whole number, another string. So now if I say and if I ask that which one will be at which location, So you can definitely find out now that int a, so a will be in stack memory area, okay, since it is a primitive data type. Char a, it is also will be in stack memory area. S1, since we are creating S1 with the help of a string literal, so it will go into the string constant pool. Good. Now S2 is new string the whole number, so it will go into the heap memory area as well as into the string constant pool. Look at here, the whole number and the whole number. But the whole number that is created into the heap will be pointed by S2, and this will be destroyed. Now if we write system.out.println, if we write some statement to print value, then now this will become like 6 is a whole number. Got it? This will concat the whole value and it will become one string, that is the value of a is 6, s1 is, c is a, and s2 is whole number. So it will make a string that is 6 is a whole number, and it will be get placed into a string pool. So this is the way that whenever you write system.out.println and your system produce some output, so definitely that input should be stored somewhere, then it will read and print the output. So that input is placed into the string pool. After that, it will print this value and get destroyed. This one. So I hope this string constant pool and string literal, heap memory area, string literal are clear. Now to manipulate the string, for example, if you want to check whether the string is ending with some character, if you want to check that strings are equal or not, if you want to check that, and if you want to perform the operation that is to concat the string, to find out the length of the string, these are the operations that you can perform on the string. So a string gives you, a string class actually gives you so many methods that you can use in your code to manipulate a string. So how do we do manipulation? We'll see with the example, and we'll see some methods. Uh, it is not possible, one more thing, it is not possible to discuss all the methods. Got it? So I'll explain only those methods which are we frequently use in our code. Rest of the method, this will be your responsibility to use and understand that what is the meaning of that those methods. Fine. So I'll show you few methods. Few means those who are very important in terms of the programming. Now come to this point. First of all, I want to show you this and why this shallow and deep comparison is important, because we have recently discussed one thing, that is where our uh, object will be placed in terms of the memory, where our object will be placed. So there are two ways to compare the string. First thing, understand this. There are two ways where we can compare the string. So this S1 and S2 can be compared to check whether both are similar or not. This is the comparison. Definitely, you know very well. So we can compare the string in two ways. One is called the shallow comparison, and another one is called the deep comparison. So what is shallow and what is deep comparison? When we compare the references, When we compare the references, then that comparison is called shallow comparison. So what is mean by the comparison of references? Simple. This is the double equal does the shallow comparison means calls equal from the object class that compares the reference, not their character sequence. So actually, this statement sometimes uh, uh, make us some confusion. That's why I'll write the code and then I'll explain it. Look at here. So I'm telling you the string comparison. Fine. So first one is called the shallow comparison. Shallow compare. Okay. So in shallow compare, what we do, we compare the references. Compare the references. What is mean by the compare of the references? Simple. If two references points to the same object, then it gives the result as true. So shallow comparison means if two references points to the same object, then it gives the result as true, otherwise false. And shallow comparison, we perform the operation with the help of double equal sign. Fine. So now just tell me, if I create one object that is hello and pointed by the S1, and if I write system dot out dot println, and if I write S1 double equal S2, so S and S1, so S double equal S1, so what will be the answer? So first of all, look at where the object will be created. So when we see this, then definitely this will go into the string constant pool. Okay, yes, Justin, this will be true. And when we see this, then it will also go into the string constant pool. And as we know that in a string constant pool, no duplicate objects are allowed. It means S and S1 will point to the same object. And what the shallow comparisons say, if two references, as you can see, S and S1, if two references points to the same object, then it gives the result as true, otherwise false. So in a case of these two statements, only one object will create and S and S1 will point to the same object. So if we do the shallow comparison, then we'll get the answer as true. So look at the output. So Java C, and then I'll write code, Java C my class, fine. Run it by writing my class. Look at the answer, that is true. So this is the meaning of shallow comparison. It does not compare the character sequences that is encapsulated inside your object. It will only compare the thing that is if references are pointing to the same object. If references are pointing to the same object. Now come to another comparison, that is called a deep comparison. And deep comparison is performed with the help of the method that is called equals. So there is a method in a string class that is called the equals method, and we perform the deep comparison, means we check that whether the both objects are containing the same character sequence or not. So if you want to check whether the both objects are containing same sequence of the character, then we use the equals method. So don't be confused. If you want to compare the character sequences that is encapsulated into the string object, then use equals method. So how do we do that? Second one is called deep compare. And to do this, we use the equals method of this class. So if we want to check whether the both string containing the same character sequence or not, then we'll write something system.out.println. We want to check that this object containing the same character sequence that is encapsulated into the S1 or not. So we'll call the method, since definitely since this is the method of java.lang.string class, so you will call this method with the help of reference, with the help of the object. So you will call like s dot equals compare s with s1. So in this case, if both object containing the same character sequence, then we'll get answer true. So as we can see that they are containing the same character sequence, so we'll get the answer true. Got it? Fine. Okay, so come to this slide one more time. Here now look at this. String s1 is equal star, string s2 is equal star, s3 is new string star. Okay, so if I write s1 double equal s2, so we can say that this will give you the answer as true. Why? Because both will be placed into a string constant pool, and there will be only one object of the star, and s1 and s2 will point to the same object. So this will give you the answer true. S1 equals S2? Sure, definitely, because this character sequence encapsulated inside the S1 is similar to the character encapsulated into the string object S2. So it will give you the answer true. S1 double equal S3? No. Why? S1 will point to the object that is placed inside the string constant pool, and S3 will point to the object that is placed inside the heap memory area. So definitely both references points to two different objects. So that's why we'll get answer false. I hope this statement is clear why we are getting the false. S1 double equal S3. S2 dot equals S3? Yes. S2 containing the character sequence star, and the same character sequence S3 is available into the same character sequence is also available into the S3. So this will give you the answer false. So look at the answer. First one is true, second one is true, third one is false, and fourth one is true. So I hope this statement is these statements are also clear, and why we are getting the answer as true, true, false, true is now clear. So make sure when you are using and comparing the string, you have the concept of shallow and deep comparison in your mind. Okay. Okay. Now come to this. So this is the way that your object will placed into the memory. Now, I will explain some methods that is important in terms of string manipulation. So to do that, I'll open. Let me check another slide that will make more clarity. Okay, look at this. Hmm. Come on. So string handling methods. So few methods I have already mentioned into the slide. If you say, if you want, then I can type the same code and I can explain the things. But but as of now, as I can understand that this is not required to, I'll type the same code and then execute it. If you are not able to get the example from here, then just say, tell me, so please type it, then I'll type and explain the thing. Otherwise, all the things are very similar to the previous example that we have already seen. So look at the first method, that is concat. Concatenates two string object. Concat means plus, add. Okay, so if you want to concat two string, then you can use the concat method. So for example, if we have created one string s1 that contains Android, second one s2 that contains mobile, and we perform the string s3, we perform the operation concat, and since you know that after performing the operation it will create a new object, s1 and s2 will remain same, because we cannot make changes into the character sequence encapsulated inside the string object, because the string object are immutable. So this operation will not make any changes into s1 and s2 until unless you are not pointing that created object into s1 and s2. Since we are pointing to the s3, so s3 will contain a new created object that will be Android mobile. So I hope this concat method is clear. If you want to concat two string, then you can use the concat method. Now, to get the length of the string, that how many characters are encapsulated into the into your string object, then you can get the length of the string by using length method. Just look at here. So I want to get the length of this object. So I will write s1 dot length. Definitely length we want to get, then it will be an integer value. So we'll store that value into the integer variable, and after that if we'll print it the x, then we'll get the answer as 6. Fine. And if you have any space into it, then it will also be counted. It will also be count, because the space is also considered as a character. To change the case of your string, and you want to convert that string into the uppercase, and you want to convert that string into lowercase, then there are two methods. One is called to uppercase and second one is called to lowercase. And uh, I will tell you one thing more, that just look at the method naming convention. And yesterday we have already seen that follow the camel case. Look at here. It starts with the small letter, and after that, if any word comes, then every word's first letter is capital. So if anyone says to you that the method name is this, then you should not be bother about that how to write that method, because you know very well that what is the programming naming convention. So if I said that to uppercase, so suddenly it should be hit into your mind that the method will start from the small letter, and since we are calling it as to uppercase, so it contains some more words, so every word's first letter is capital. So to uppercase, so there is S1 that contains hello. I want to change it into the uppercase, so I will write S1 dot to uppercase, and it will create a new object that will be like hello in uppercase, and I will store that into S2. Still, S1 will have hello in a small letter. So these three methods are clear? Or should I write into the notepad and then I'll execute it? Is it fine? Okay, good. Because it will take time, that's why. Next one is, okay, next is called index of. So what is index of? Returns the index of character in a string if available. Suppose you have one string and you want to find out that what is the index of this particular character into my string, and if that character is available in a string, then you will get the index. Otherwise it will return -1. So my string is string s1 is equal java world, and I want to find out what is the index of w. Okay, so I will write s1 dot index of, and make sure that o is capital. And I don't think I should explain one more. This should be explained because you already know that what is the naming convention. So index of our w, then you will find, now count it, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So w is at index number 5. So you will get the answer as 5. If I passed as x, what is the index of x? Then it will give you the answer as -1. Why? Because x is not available in your string. So in that case, we'll get the answer as -1. Now, if you want to find out that which character at the particular index, okay, so there is a string that contains Android lollipop, okay, and I call a method s1.char at 8. So which character is at 8 position? Just tell me. So it will tell you, and it will return the character, and we can store that character into the variable that is char type. So at 8, if you'll count, then you will get answer capital L. And make sure that you are passing the right index. You are not passing any index that is beyond the length of this string. Otherwise, you will get error. Got it? Equals method. So we have already seen that what is the use of equals method to compare the strings encapsulated characters. So in this case, since this is J2EE and S2 contains JEE, and if we compare S1 dot equals, since both contains the different character sequence, then we'll get the answer false. And these are some more methods that is available. One is called equals ignore case. Second one is starts with, ends with, substring, replace, and contains. Okay. So do you want that these method should I explain with the example? Then I can write the code, because these are the methods that we use in frequent. Okay, good. What about Hinduja? So can you do this by yourself, Hinduja? Okay, so just make a practice of these methods. Okay, do the practice, and if you get any problem in these methods, then just let me know, then I'll explain it. Okay, so equals ignore case means it will compare the string without checking the cases. It starts with means if you want to check that the particular string is starting with a particular string or not, then you can check it. Okay, ends with, suppose you have a string and you want to check that the particular string is ending with the some string or not, then you can check it. For example, you have a file name and you want to check that the file is the type of txt java dot class, then you can use this method that ends with substring to find out a substring from a given string. And it will you provide only the starting index and it will go at the end. This is the starting and end index. If you want to replace a character from a given character, then you can use the replace method. You want to check that the particular is substring is available into your string or not, then you can find you can use the contains method. So these are very important methods that we use in our string manipulation. Another one is replace first and replace all. So replace first means if you pass the first argument of this method is that which string you want to search, and from which string, the second argument, from which string you want to replace this. So it will replace only the string which occurs first time in your given string. Replace all means if the string that you want to replace with the given string, then it will replace into your all the string. It doesn't matter that how many times it is available in your string. Split means breaking the string into this into different part. So trim will perform the operation. It will remove the white spaces from a beginning and from the end of your string. Suppose some white space is at the beginning of the string and some white space is at spaces are at the end of your string and you want to remove, then call the method as trim. It will not replace the space from the between and from the within your string. To convert any object to a string, you call the method toString. And to convert the string into the character array, we use toChar array. And if you want to know and you want to see the use of these methods, then you can go onto the official website and official document uh, the of Oracle of Java that you can find here, that it is http://docs.oracle.com java c6 docs api java lang string.html. So you will find all the methods and the uses of these methods. So document is also available on the website. You can take the reference of it. Now string buffer, and what is a string buffer? So to discuss the string buffer class, I want to mention few points. Look at here. Till now we have discussed the string class. So for manipulation and handling of a string in Java, to we can say to handle or manipulate the string, string, Java gives three classes. First one is java.lang.string. Java.lang is a package, string is a class. Second one is called java.lang.StringBuffer. And third one is java.lang.StringBuilder. Okay, so actually to manipulate a string into Java, there are three classes. One is called java.lang.string, second one is called java.lang.StringBuffer, and third one is called java.lang.StringBuilder. Actually, these are the classes name, and java.lang is a package. And as I told you that if any class belongs to java.lang package, we don't need to import in our code. It is by default imported in our code. So you don't need to write the import statement. Fine. Now, till now we have discussed what is java.lang.string. So any object that you create and that is the type of string are immutable. Okay, and a string buffer type object and a string builder type of object are mutable type. Mutable means if you perform the operation on these objects, it will make changes into itself in it. Okay, so it will be mutable type. It will not create a new object whenever you perform the operation. Fine. So this is the difference between a string and a string buffer, a string builder. A string type of objects are immutable, and a string builder and a string buffer type objects are mutable. It means whenever you create any object of these two types will be into heap memory area. I hope till now this is clear. So remember, there are three classes. Now come to this slide. So java.lang.StringBuffer. A string buffer is a peer class of a string that represents a mutable type of the string object on heap memory area. And to create any string buffer object, we can create like this. That is, we can create with the help of a string buffer default constructor. Second, a string buffer, and we can define the size of a strings object. And here we can pass any string. Look at here, we can pass the string java.lang.string type object to create a string buffer. Okay, so there are so many constructors are available that you can use to create any string buffer object, but here we will concern on these two. So whenever you want to create any object of the type of a string buffer, write this statement: string buffer sb1 is equal new string buffer. So it will create a new empty string object because you are not passing any string over here. But if you write a string buffer sb is equal new string buffer abcd, so it will be placed into the heap memory area. Okay, into heap memory area. So there are also some methods that you can use to get the length of a string buffer type of object. Then you can use the length method. So string buffer sb is equal new string buffer hello world, and if we call sb dot length, then we'll get the length of this string object. So we'll get the answer as 11. What is the character at the particular position? We can find out with the char@. If you want to make changes and if you want to add some more string into the existing object, then there is no concat method available into the string buffer class. There is a method that is called append. So if we have a string buffer object like SB, and if we write a new string buffer hello, and after that we want to append some string into it, then we will call sb.append world. So you don't need to point through any reference because it is a type of mutable. So whenever you perform any operation, it will make changes into the existing object. So it will make into changes into the existing object, that is hello, and it will become hello world. So now if we print SB, then we'll get the answer hello world. So this is the mutable, that's why this operation works fine. If you want to delete a character from a given index, then there is a method that is called delete char at. So just pass the index and call the method delete char at with the string buffer object, and at that place that character will be deleted. So if we print the value of SB, then we'll get the answer HELO only. As you can see, there are 2L into hello, but here only 1. If you want to delete the values from a given range, that from this range to this range index, delete the characters. So you can pass it as from the index number 2 to index number 4, delete the values, delete the characters. So we can write like sb.delete 2, 4. So it will delete from index to 4. And one more thing I want to mention here, if you find any method that accept 2 parameters, that is starting and end, as in here you starting index and the end index. So in every language, the end index that you provide is excluded into the operation, not included. Okay, so if we write 2 and 4, so it will go from 2 to 3. 4 will be exclude. So it will delete the values from the index 2 to 3. So look at here. What is the value of index number 2? That is L. What is the value of index number 3? That is L. So it will delete both L and it will become HEO. Okay. So this will be applicable for all methods which accepts 2 parameters and in which you pass the starting and the end index. So make sure the end index will not be included into the operation. Fine. If you want to set some character at the particular index, then you can call this method set char at. What is the position you want and which character you want to set? So SB is equal new string buffer crush, and I want to set A at index number 2. So what is the character at right now at index number 2? We can see that at index number 2 is U. So this will set at index number 2, that is A. So crush will become crash. Okay, crush will become crash. And sometimes it happens into the real life also. Next, what is the replace method? Replace method means if you want to replace a string from a given range, then it will replace it. So string buffer SB is equal new string buffer hello world. I want to replace from 0 to 5 my. Okay, so it will replace from 0 to 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so as I told you that 5 will be excluded, so it will become my world. Insert will insert the character at the or string at the particular index. So the given string is SB new string buffer hello world. I want to insert my at index number 6. Okay, so after performing this operation, this will become hello my world. And there are a few more methods that you can use, that is insert, 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 the character, int type value, float type value, double, and the boolean. Another method is index of. So if you want to find out what is the index of the given string into the string buffer, then you can use this. So I want to check that what is the index of world. So it will find out only the starting index. So as you will get the answer as 6, what is the index of world into SB? And if that string is not available into the object, then it will give you the answer as -1. As you can see, SB dot index of the world, and we are finding the world that starts with a small letter. So you will get the answer as -1. If you have so many words in your string buffer object, and if you want to find what is the last index of this string into the given string buffer object, then you can use the last index of. As you can see, place your bookmark here on bookmark bar. So I want to check what is the last index of the bookmark. So as you can see, there are uh, 2 bookmark in the object. So it will find out the last bookmark. So as you can see, it is the bookmark that is the last. So it will give you the index of this bookmark, that is 28. Again, if you want to reverse the string, then you can use the reverse method. And if we call this method, it will reverse the characters. Look at here. String buffer SB is equal new string buffer pool, and if we call SB dot reverse, then it will reverse and pool will become loop. Fine. Now, if you want to convert the string buffer object into a string, java.lang.string type, because it is the object of java.lang.string buffer, and we want to convert into java.lang.string type, then there is a method that is called toString. So I'll call the method sb.toString, then it will be return the result as java.lang.string type to convert into the java.lang.string type of the object. Then we call the toString method. Okay. Now we have seen so many methods that is available in a string buffer, and so many methods that is available into the string class also. One more class is available that is called string buffer. Okay, so you will find the similar methods that is available into the string buffer. Okay, so you will find those methods into string builder also. So what is the difference of these two methods, these two classes? So the difference is, just come to this point where, yes, here you will find one more keyword into your string buffer type, string buffer method, that is synchronized. Okay, so the methods that are available in string buffer is synchronized, but in string builder methods are non-synchronized. Synchronized means type safe, thread safe. So thread safety means when any thread perform the operation, any thread perform the operation on this object, that is the string buffer, no other thread will be accessed at the same time. Synchronization means one by one. Okay, so this makes the consistency in your code. So string buffers methods are synchronized, string builders methods are non-synchronized. And if you want to check all the methods which are available into the string buffer, string class, and string builder, so earlier I have already told you one tool that is called deassembler, that is Java P. So if you want to check which method, which are the methods that is available into the string class, then you can write java.lang.string. When you hit the enter, you can find all the methods which are available into the string class. These are the methods. Okay. So now it is your responsibility. Look at those methods very carefully and do the practice. And if you have a command on a string, then you can do so many operations very easily. One more class is available that is called java.lang.StringBuffer. Okay. So just look at the method signature, synchronize, synchronize, synchronized, synchronized. And if I write the class as a string builder, so you will find non-synchronized. There is no synchronized keyword available. Look at it. Okay. So this is the difference between a string builder and a string buffer. Yes, tell me. Any doubt? No. Good. So this is all about string manipulation. Okay. So now it's your responsibility to do the operation and perform the string related operations. So today I'll bind up this session here because one candidate is not available today. Tomorrow we'll discuss a fresh topic, that is array, that how to create and how to manipulate it. And till then, just revise all the things. If you get any confusion, any error, then you can ask me. After that, we'll move to the next session. Any query? Yes, tell me. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So enjoy your Sunday because today is Sunday. So and do the coding. Happy coding. Okay. So I'll bind up here. Thank you. Thank you for joining this session. Bye bye.